How well does the Huntsman handle the cold? We had single-digit temperatures overnight, and I wanted to have a real challenge for the Huntsman to see if it could go through the whole night cooking up some pulled pork. And I wasn't going to get out of bed for anything, so the Huntsman had to do its job or the food could be ruined. If you haven't seen it, the Huntsman is a 22-inch grill that's part kettle and part Kamado, with 5mm thick carbon steel walls with the Spider Venom fan controller at the bottom to maintain temperatures. It currently retails at just under $900, which is less than a lot of the Kamados on the market that don't have a fan controller. And this isn't my first time testing the Spider Venom in some bad weather. I did another overnight test where we had a rainstorm and a little bit of thunder, and I did it on the Weber kettle. And I've had the Huntsman for about 7 or 8 months now, and I've done lots of really long cooks for low and slow, as well as some shorter hot and fast cooks, and everything's turned out just great on it. But this would be a bigger test for the Huntsman and for me. A couple of hours before the cook, I salted and seasoned about 15 pounds of pork butt, and it was cold enough that I could leave them covered up in the garage. I filled up the Huntsman with lump charcoal, and I added a little bit more than I thought I would need in order to be able to get all the way through the night. That's one of the big advantages of the Huntsman. I've done a similar test when it was cold on the Weber kettle, and I know that it can't make it through the night when it's only about 10 degrees. The Huntsman has more space between the cooking grate and the charcoal grate, which allows you to put more charcoal in there for longer cook times. It's also more efficient because of the thick walls. Then I lit about 20 charcoal briquettes and set the Venom to hold the temperature. So after about 45 minutes, things were holding pretty steady and looking pretty good, so I put the pork butts on the Huntsman, closed it up, and then I went to bed with the understanding that I was not going to get up for anything in the next 8 hours. And I'll tell you how that went, but first I want to share a couple of observations that I've had using the Huntsman and using it in the cold. When it first started getting cold, I was lighting the Huntsman like I normally would, the same size amount of coals and fire, and I was getting a timeout, so it would take too long to get up to the cooking temperature and it would just shut down. And it seems to be resolved with a firmware update where they've backed off the fan just a little bit. Because when you blow the super cold air from the wintertime into the inside, it can cool it off quite a bit. During the summer, the Huntsman would maintain temperatures within a degree or two of the set point pretty much no matter what. In the winter, there's a little bit more variability there. And I noticed throughout the night that the temperatures varied by about 10 degrees or so, and it was usually hovering below the set temperature. But that's still pretty impressive that it can handle that wide of a temperature range, whether it's 10 degrees outside or 100, and still maintain the correct temperatures inside of the Huntsman. Now, the spot I like to put my grills when I'm doing long cooks is not perfectly flat. It leans forward and a little bit to the side. And with the Huntsman, what can happen is some of the condensation and grease on the inside will leak out the front door. I was able to capture all of that just using a cookie tray that I had up on the lower tray, but it does work perfectly whenever it's on a flat surface. So did it make it through the night without running out of charcoal or airing out in the cold? After 8 hours of amazing sleep, I felt incredibly rested. I walked into my kitchen and looked out the window, and like a beacon in the night, I could see the display on the Spider Venom that was within 5 degrees of the set point. The butts were 175 degrees Fahrenheit internal temperature, so I wrapped them up for the last couple of hours of the cook until they came up to temp. Then I put them in a warm oven for another couple of hours just to rest. And when you consider how cold it was outside and how little effort was required for me to be able to make that pulled pork, the Huntsman performed amazingly well. In fact, it might have performed just a little bit too well because I found out the missus volunteered me for a weeknight cook to make some pulled pork for an event that she's going to, and I have the confidence that the Huntsman will pull it off then as well. And if you like this video, check out this one where I test out the Spider Venom to see if it can withstand a rainstorm.